All right. Hello, 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 and welcome back to The Pleasure Priority. And also, happy Black History Month, y'all. It's the first episode of February, so I gotta say it. And today we are continuing our series on my Rise relationship matrix. And today we are talking about S, secure. And as I make this episode, I do want to acknowledge that a lot of people are not feeling safe right now, especially here in the United States and outside of it with the new administration and everything that's been coming down the pike. I understand that a lot of people just simply don't feel safe and don't always see how starting with ourselves and our own communities can be helpful when it feels like the larger world is on fire. But it's all connected and we have to start with us. So that is going to be the premise of this episode. And I do just want to say it is scary. It is terrifying. It is scary times. And I also want to say we're not new to this. Times have been scary before. People in power have been crazy before. This is not the first time that people have been in power that should not be in power. This is not the first time that people in power have not cared about the people that they are supposed to serve and protect. It's not the first time that people in power don't care about anyone else that doesn't look like them or doesn't make as much money as them. This is not the first time that our world has been on fire, and it will not be the last. This too shall pass. And navigating how to survive in a hostile state is nothing new to us. We know what to do. We know how to handle it. Not saying that it's going to be easy, not saying that it's going to be fun, because it won't be. This will be work, and that's where we're at, and that's what we're signing up for. Or maybe we didn't even sign up for, but that's just where we're at. And even with it all, we can still make our own experience better. We can still create safety. We can still protect ourselves and our communities. And that has a ripple effect out. This too shall pass. We know how to survive. We know what to do. We've been here before, and we're going to get through it again. So I'm going to maintain the focus of this episode on what we can do for ourselves, what we can do for our own relationships, what we can do for our local communities, what we can do for ourselves and our own relationships, because that has a ripple out effect further and further. Jessica Fern refers to this as the nested model of trauma and attachment. And she uses it to describe how attachment unfolds across all dimensions of the human experience. That starts with ourselves and our relationships, and then it goes out to our home, our local communities, our technology, our culture, our society, and the global collective. But again, it starts with us. Nothing outside of those outer circles can change unless we change our own experience first. So again, that's where we start. Let's dive in. And now, this isn't the episode where I dive into attachment styles and what they mean and how they show up in you and all that kind of stuff. But let me know if you're interested. But I am going to talk about attachment styles a lot today, just juxtaposing them with how you're showing up in your relationships, what they can look like, and juxtaposing what insecure relationships look like versus secure. So, insecure relationships. And I know that word can have some connotation with it. So, taking that out and just saying relationships that are not secure, AKA relationships that are avoidant or dismissive, anxious or preoccupied, or relationships that are disorganized, fearful, or avoidant. So, it's really just to juxtapose the difference between those non-secure relationships and secure relationships. So, diving into what non-secure relationships look like, starting with avoidant and dismissive. So, these dynamics can stem from relationships that were cold and judgmental, where there was potentially little to no touch or affection, where the other person was rarely or never able to provide you comfort or support, where there was a strong focus on how you appear to others and what you achieve, where they had an inability to truly just get or understand you. inability or lack of desire. And then how you tend to show up now because of the relationship or relationships that display these dynamics, you usually keep people at arm's length. And you may have set a time or two or even be proud about the fact that you don't need anybody. All my folks, you could do bad all by yourself. Yep, you. You're also probably presenting as very linear or logical now. You probably talk about how you don't make decisions off of your emotions or you're not at the whim of your emotions, but you also like kind of completely exclude having emotions and just focus on the logic of the situation, the linear, like a very narrow view on the facts. And then oftentimes it's very hard for you without a strong intention to actually connect to your own self, your own feelings, your own desires. You usually just glaze over it and keep it pushing because those things haven't been paid attention to before. They haven't been paid attention to, they haven't been acknowledged, you haven't learned how to ask or how to properly receive. So you lose the skill of being able to know how you truly feel and what you truly want. Okay, and moving on to the more anxious or preoccupied style. So this can stem from relationships where the dynamic was unreliable, inconsistent, unpredictable in how they show up for you. There were inconsistent boundaries or inconsistent consequences, and also like unenforced consequences sometimes, but enforced consequences sometimes with those inconsistent boundaries. So a lot of confusion. Relationships with a tendency to make you feel responsible for their needs and their feelings. Relationships that may have made you feel anxious about who you are as a person. Relationships that created a dynamic where, in order for you to feel safe, you had to be able to predict what they're doing or thinking or would do or would think. So then you felt like you had to be responsible and carry that responsibility for what they're doing and what they're feeling and what's happening in their state of mind, which is a losing game, y'all. We cannot. Mm-mm, mm-mm. But I digress. And these are also stemming from relationships that the other person only responds when you have to take it there. You have to come out of character. You have to be super unregulated or get really loud, yelly, or anything like that. But yeah, you need to take it there just to get your needs acknowledged, let alone met. And now that can look like a hyper focus on the closeness of the relationship. Like always wondering, are we close enough? Could we be closer? How can we be closer? Is this good enough? Am I good enough? And you also tend to overwork to monitor the other person in the relationship. On their end, it can feel like you're trying to control them. On your end, it can look like overfunctioning and overadapting. So overfunctioning, you're doing too much. You're just simply doing too much that you don't need to do. And over adapting is always going out of your way to make compromises or make decisions, or really just going out of your way to try to make the other person happy by diminishing your own happiness, diminishing your own wants, diminishing your own needs. So that overfunctioning and over adapting can lead to a loss of your sense of self, because who are you outside of the person that serves this other person? It also creates a dynamic where you relinquish your sense of safety, your peace of mind to the state of the relationship versus you. So of course you'd be obsessed with the relationship because that's what you're thinking makes you safe. Okay, and then again, moving on to the disorganized, fearful, avoidant. This can be a result if there was an abuse of any kind. That's mental, emotional, physical, financial, literally any kind. It's also if you were a witness to abuse of any kind. So maybe if it wasn't inflicted directly on you, but it was inflicted on someone close to you, someone you love, or someone you see regularly. It's if you were regularly neglected or left unprotected. It's when there was constant or repeated crisis, like something was always happening. Shit was always hitting the fan. There was never time to catch your breath. And these relationships tend to have a dynamic that could make you feel like you're not enough. And now, how that presents in relationships is kind of a seesaw. Your fears clash of being too close and too far from who you're in relationship with. You feel uncomfortable relying on others. You feel scared to bring up your own needs and your feelings because you think that could be dangerous or potentially make things worse. So You hold it in and take it to the chin. Now, these are just a few examples of what could create a non-secure attachment style relationship dynamic. A lot of this stems from childhood. So even thinking about how our attachment styles were created with our caregivers and how that affects us now, and how we may still be showing some of these signs, even though we're grown now, we're out the house, we're no longer being given care by our caregivers, but it still affects us, it still plays a role. And these dynamics can show up in every type of relationship, not just romantic relationships, because our attachment style is just how we relate to others and other things and ourselves. So of course, these dynamics come up in all types of relationships. And you may have identified with more than one insecure attachment style or the dynamics of more than one insecure attachment style. And that's okay. That's normal because attachment styles are not static. And the best news about that is that they can change. We can learn how to create secure attachment to literally any and everything, even if we didn't start with that, even if our current default isn't secure attachment. Jessica Fern calls that earned secure attachment. And yes, we can earn it. We can create it. We can change ourselves and our dynamics and our relationships to reflect secure attachment. So it's okay if you didn't grow up with this. It's okay if you didn't learn how to create secure attachments as a child. Most of us didn't. And that's okay because we're smart, we're humans, we're resilient, and we can learn. And that's precisely what I'm going to teach you today. So yeah, isn't it the best news that we don't have to just deal with this? We don't have to just continue on our way just saying this is just how I am. This is just how my relationships have to be. No, we get to decide. We get to change. We have control. We have autonomy. So yeah, let's use it. Attachment styles are not permanent. They are not static. They get to change. So let's change them. And also, shameless plug, that quiz that I have, How to Be Happy in Any Relationship, it is also loosely based on these attachment styles, in addition to my own philosophies about different stages of who we are in relationships. So taking that quiz is going to definitely help you be able to better identify where you're at and give you a path on how to navigate where you want to be. So it's in the show notes. Take the quiz. But yeah, now let's dig into it. How do we actually create secure attachment in any relationship? Well, first, let's get clearer on the goal. So, what can a secure relationship dynamic look like? Those involved in the relationship are present and available. They're attuned to your needs. They encourage you to be exactly who you are. They celebrate you for who you are authentically. They support your pursuit of autonomy. They have fun with you. It's fun to be around them. It's fun to be together. You look forward to it. There are healthy boundaries, clear lines, and clear consequences of what happens when you cross those lines. And those boundaries are for everyone's safety and protection, as well as ensuring needs are met and lines aren't crossed. And also an understanding of inevitable mistakes. It's not saying that these relationships are perfect, but that when mistakes happen, there is a reconciliation, a coming together, taking the time to repair and rebuild whatever was cracked or broken. And then when you're in secure relationships, you experience a healthy sense of self. You're not always drowning in doubt. You actually know that you're that bitch and you act like it. You're able to see yourself and the people that you're in relationship with in a positive light. And this isn't toxic positivity. It's really just looking at things in a positive light. You're able to ask for what you need and know that people are ready and willing to respond. And that's because your knowledge and experience with interpersonal relationships and the trust that you built with your secure relationships and your attachments, they're not against you. They really are for you and they have your back and they're here to meet your needs, just like you're there to meet theirs. You're able to be more flexible when needs aren't met in a relationship. You're better able to handle hearing no and either waiting or seeking other means to get your needs met. You can both emotionally regulate on your own and co-regulate with others that you're in relationship with. And you know that no matter what, you are worthy, you matter, and you are loved. Secure relationships create more fulfillment and more balance in your life. They give you more capacity for empathy, respect, and forgiveness. They allow for higher levels of satisfaction across the board based on any given relationship. So that's sexual satisfaction, that's career satisfaction, that's financial satisfaction, that's familial satisfaction, platonic, all of it. You will be more satisfied with life. You will be more satiated. You won't always be yearning for more, thinking something's missing, looking for the next thing that's going to fill some missing piece. The missing piece is not found in the next thing. It's found in your ability to be satisfied and satiated. And that comes from improving the quality of your relationships and getting yourself to a point where you can relate securely to the relationships in your life. And so finally, the big question, how do we get there? Well, friends, you hire me. And in all seriousness, it is the best way to get a customized approach to what you need to do and what you need to work on for your individual goals. And also having someone that's not you in your head to help you get out of it and see what else is possible. And I'll say some places where you can start now. 1, work on strengthening your relationship to self. Really minimizing that self-doubt, eliminating that feeling of imposter syndrome, believing that you're not good enough, that you're not worth it, that all of those things, like being able to strengthen your sense of self so you can get to the point of seeing yourself as worthy, lovable, and enough as a baseline. You can work on not abandoning yourself and not rejecting yourself. And I know that may be harsh, but I'm saying it with love. Oftentimes, when you are so scared of other people abandoning you and other people rejecting you, you're doing it to yourself first. You are abandoning yourself. You are rejecting yourself. And you need to step up first instead of waiting for everybody else to do it for you. You need to learn how to come back to yourself. And boundaries. Good ones, not ones that just try to dictate how other people can act, but ones that protect everyone involved and make sure that needs are being met. And remember, every good boundary has a consequence that you are willing to enforce. If you are not willing to enforce it, it's not a good consequence, and that boundary isn't going to help you because there's no way to enforce it. But yeah, check the archives. I got a good episode on how to set good boundaries. Also, you need to work on your capacity to receive. If you can't accept a compliment, if you cannot accept help, if you cannot accept the good things that are coming to your way, how can you expect more? You have to increase your capacity and willingness to receive in order to get more. Work on your ability to ask for help. Self-explanatory, but yeah, ask for help. It is okay. It is not a sign of weakness. It does not mean anything's wrong with you. You're not supposed to know how to do everything on your own. Again, we're humans. It's in us to be connected, to want to be in partnership, in relationship with others. You're not supposed to do it alone. So get comfortable with asking for help because you need it and you will continue to need it. You can also work on letting people in and showing them exactly who you are, being your authentic self with them. You can work on reconnecting to your body. How you feel should not be a mystery to you. You should know. And that comes from a connection and an open line of communication between you and your body. Check in. You can work on your own inner sense of safety and protection. External safety and feeling safe in our environments is so important. And so is our own internal safety. So is making sure that the call is not coming from inside of the house, making sure that we aren't inflicting extra harm on ourselves, that we are protecting ourselves, that we are our own home base of safety. And you can work on surrounding yourself with people that really want to see you win. Now, these are just examples of places that you can begin to explore and improve based on where you're at right now and what you want. But honestly, just picking one of these things and working to improve it is going to change your experience of so much. And again, another shameless plug, taking that quiz is going to help you illuminate more so you can better navigate what to do next. But to see that drastic progress in your relationships, to really take those quantum leaps, to stop feeling like this is some never ending road that's never going to change and actually start seeing the results that you want to see, you're going to need some help. You're going to need some extra eyes, another perspective, helping and supporting you and calling things out, illuminating things for you, helping you understand and navigate things differently, and giving you a new foundation to build off of and work from. You're going to need some help. You're going to need somebody in your corner. And it doesn't matter if it is a therapist, if it is a coach, if it's some other type of healer, but get somebody. And I would be honored if you chose me to be that person for you. And all you got to do is hit the link in the show notes to book your consultation call, where we'll create your unique treatment plan of what we're going to work on so that you can create earned, secure attachment in all of your relationships, and you can start feeling more fulfilled. You'll be more confident and more happy in all of your relationships, and ultimately across all aspects of your life. It's this work that creates the change. It's this work that helps us be able to show up outwardly and change the world at a greater capacity. It starts with us. It starts internally, and it starts with our own sense of security and relating that outward so we can take it from ourselves through all those phases through the global collective. And I'm so excited to embark on this journey with y'all. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I always like to imagine my clients at our last session and what they're going to say and how impactful the work has been and how much has truly changed. And I can't wait for you to quote this episode or quote this day as the day that you finally decided that you're worth it and you deserve it. And things can be different. They can be the way that you see them in your head, and you're willing to take the chance and do the work to achieve it. Future you is so fucking proud of you. So excited for you. So grateful for you. And I cannot wait for you to meet her. Oh my God. And all you got to do to start is book that consultation. Literally no cost and no commitment, just exploring what this could look like and this could be for you. Future you will thank you for it. Can't wait for you to meet her. In the meantime, I will see you next week for the final installment of this series. We're rounding it out with E for exciting. All right, y'all, that's it for today, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay pleased. Thanks for joining me for this episode of The Pleasure Priority. I hope that when you see things can be better, you're inspired to do better. Because remember, you deserve nothing less than an abundance of joy, fulfillment, and all the peaceful good vibes. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Oh, and hey, make sure you're on my email list for more tips, laughs, story times, community, and all things pleasure. So until next time, keep living life on your terms, because settling is for the birds. All right, stay pleased, my friends. I'll see you soon.